guess a lot about what today is. We're going to be talking about the events, rallies, marches, the Bernie organizations. There is a coalition of Bernie organizations that are working together to make sure this goes through peaceful, successfully, and maximizing the full potential out of what this can be. The organizations that equal the movements for Bernie are Black Men for Bernie, the Burners, Bernie or Bust, March on DNC, Occupy DNC, Bern Bash. There's a lot of other organizations that have come together for this as well, locally and nationally, that have endorsed neither the petition or what we are doing. So there's a lot of elements that are making this work. First, I also have to say this is being filmed by multiple people. The news is here, so I do have to say that, just putting that out there, guys. I guess the first to start is on the 24th. The 24th is a national march for Bernie. It will take place in almost every state, multiple marches in some states. That'll be conducted on the 24th, Sunday at 12 noon. Now, recently, the Sanders campaign has reached out to me in reference to one of the permits that we have for FDR Park. FDR Park is divided into 5 zones. Not really, because we have 4 of those zones, 80% of the park. The Sanders campaign wants one of those zones for the 24th, which is a beautiful thing because of the national marches that are going to be done. It's really symbolic, that he picked that day of all days. We are encouraging Bernie to lead our march, so our information on the 24th depends on what Bernie does. We have to transfer the permits and let them plan for their march, and then we can adjust ours accordingly. The plan is to do a pre-rally and then lead a march that can pump tens of thousands, possibly even hundreds of thousands, into the rally that Bernie will be doing at FDR Park. As far as the amount of supporters that are going to be in Philadelphia, right now we're expecting 100 to 250,000. With Bernie signing on board and us encouraging Bernie to lead that march on Sunday, all the head organizers really do see the potential of a million-man march. So when you talk about Philadelphia, July, the DNC, this is going to be history in the making. The next day is on the 25th. The 25th is the opening day. That is going to be probably one of the largest rallies out of the whole event. Not only through the Bernie organizations, but through local grassroots efforts as well. So a lot of the bigger rallies are happening on Monday. Now, as far as the 24th, our location is at 1401 JFK Blvd. The rally starts at 12, in between 12 and 4. On the 25th, it's March on DNC. That's going to take place at Independence Mall and behind Second Bank. That's scheduled for in between 12 to 4. On the 26th is the Bernie or Bust movement. That will take place at 1401 JFK. That will be in between 12 and 3 p.m. Then on the 27th and the 28th is Black Men for Bernie. They will be located at 1401 JFK.
Hey, just want to get through that one more time, really sorry.
That's all right. Well, is there a specific question that you have?
All right, the 24th, 12 o'clock with JFK.
Correct. All the locations are at JFK except for on the 25th. The 25th is at Independence Mall. We're located in behind Second Bank. Basically the Liberty Bell.
Wait, Billy, I'm sorry. I wasn't even always thinking about this. But you have permits for FDR Park as well, right?
Correct.
So is the march coming down here or it stays at what's
Right now we have 2 marches that are being organized for.
Okay.
That is on Sunday and Monday, on the 24th and 25th. It's up in the air as far as the 28th. We may do something, but at this time, they're it's talk. It's nothing being planned.
Has the actual routes for the marches been established?
Now we're working with the permit. Working with the city directly. So it's you got to walk before you run. It depends on what the city does and what we can do. Right now, the plan is to march down Broad Street. From what the city has told us, they're going to completely block off Broad Street. And we pretty much have the run at Broad Street. The amount of participants that are coming, it's basically going to be an all-day march to get everybody down.
Down to here?
Right.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Example?
Okay, I'm mixed up. If we're going to mark from somewhere else to here.
Correct.
Okay.
All the rallies are being will take place up at City Hall.
Staged at City Hall.
Correct, and then we're coming down here.
Okay.
Right, so just to give you a little perspective, that's about a 5-6 mile walk, I think.
3.5.
Yeah, something like that.
On a hot day.
You want to wear comfortable shoes and bring something that
Now hang on, I'll get to the hot days in a second. That's where you come in actually. That's why I'm loving you right now.
I'm loving you right now too, and everybody here.
So when the marchers walk to the park, is there going to be something set up in here as well, or the stages?
Correct. Now, even though they gave us the permits, the city has not given us the actual zones and the mapping. We are hoping for this to be the location. We have a good stage over there and a power source for our political artists. All day long at FDR Park, there will be events being planned. This is a demonstration, but we're going for more of a Festivus type atmosphere. So there will be political artists throughout the day, body painting. We're trying to give it that 60s type vibe. So at FDR Park, there will be events even before the rallies start at 9 a.m. We have nonviolent civil resistance classes being taught, martial classes being taught. Right now, we're working on 2 other types of classes as well. So there'll be multiple things throughout the day happening at FDR Park throughout the day.
Did you talk to them about water and supplies?
Well, that's next up on the list.
Can you do me a favor? Like, it's really hard to hear when people are asking stuff, so can you just kind of repeat what people are asking?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You got it. Is there any more questions about the events, marches, rallies?
What's the best website to go to, or Facebook page to go to for the information, or isn't it there really?
Currently, I'm going to say
Repeat, please, loud.
Currently, I'm going to say there's none because it's so everywhere. Right now, we are building a web page as a central hub for all the Bernie organizations, events, and rallies. That is, we do have the domain name. It's under construction. Give it about a week or so. We should be live. That is movementsforbernie.com. You have to add that S in there. It's movements.
What was the start time of the 25th when you go?
25th is at 12 noon.
After the march terminates here, what activities will be taking place here, or are you just going to disperse at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, or will it go further into the evening, like when they're doing their business across the street?
It will go further into the evening. We're scheduling guest speakers, political artists throughout the entire day. More than likely, the events are going to take place over here, but we will probably have events located at that pavilion too. Now, this is in the works. It's not in stone yet. We have to wait to see which zones they're actually giving us. Even though we have 4 zones, we don't know the location. So we are wanting this specific location. So there'll be multiple things actually happening at FDR Park.
Is there a time where everything needs to end and you need to be out of the park?
Again, we're working with the city, so it's what the city does judges us. What we does judges the city. But right now it's 6 p.m. We have put in a request to extend that time to 10 p.m. We have meetings set up throughout. Literally, we have 3 meetings being set up with the city officials from now until July, as well as we're looking to have a meeting with the fire and police as well for safety and health reasons. Any other questions?
What other groups are going to be participating on the 24th?
I'm sorry, one more time.
Are there going to be other groups participating on the 24th?
Now, Bernie groups are local grassroots.
Groups in general are the same idea in mind.
You got it. Well, this is specifically for the Bernie organizations.
I just want to hype this.
Yep.
Something like that. Going Hollywood on that, son.
Had a guy grab my butt.
More important to look good than to sound good, darling.
Thank you, sir.
Now, this is specifically for the movements for Bernie, the Bernie organizations. There are a lot of other grassroots activities happening separate from the Bernie organizations, rallies, there are other marches. We are coordinating with all of them to make sure it's all peaceful. This isn't only about Bernie. No voice should be silenced in this process. So, making sure everybody's voice is heard, and it's just not us coming down for the DNC. There's a lot of other organizations as well. So coordinating with them to make sure, marches don't cross one another. This is all being done, and again, we have 2 months, but we're it takes time. It's a lot all at once, but we will be ready. We have some solid work that is the foundation that's already ready. Any other questions in reference to the marches, rallies, and events for the DNC?
Live streaming. You guys going to be doing anything that's being done here? You guys going to be live streaming it?
Now, there's multiple orgs that are going to be live streaming. I believe Bruce Carter from Black Men for Bernie, the UPP is going to be doing live streaming, and I can guarantee you a number of individuals as well. Just to give an activist kind of side of view with the live streaming, this is a federal event. They do have stingrays, they have jammers. So if you have recording equipment that has Bluetooth on it, they can affect your videos and pictures. This is history. They've done this in the past many times before. So we do encourage folks to go old school with this, meaning the old recorders where the VHS tapes are a little bit smaller, video equipment that does not have Bluetooth on it. This way you can, later on, you'll have the actual footage. You can download it at a later time, but that's foolproof. So if you're coming in with video, anything to record this, make sure you have a backup, maybe a second and third backup. But we are, asking everybody to maybe go old school on this one. Nothing beats the old school tools, equipment, even labor. Kind of says it. But,
we could also encourage individual people to live stream as well. Facebook
yes.
has live streaming capability now. If you get more people live streaming, then we up our chances of actually getting a live stream out.
Exactly. That's what we're promoting. Basically, we don't expect mainstream media to market us at all. So we will be, basically, we are the media. We have the tools. This is a millennial generation. We know how to use the tools that we're given. Alternative news networks, independent journalists, we're really reaching out. They've reached out to us. So we will be the media on this one, and we encourage everybody to do the same. Any way you can record it, go home, post it, whatever way you have to reach out and use what tools you have at your disposal. Any other questions in reference to the rallies? All right, next, just general information outside of the rallies, certain things that are being planned. As I said, we are very well organized. We do have medics being stationed at 3 locations. We're looking to have medics stationed up in the area of City Hall. We will have a medic station at FDR Park. We will have a medic station at the midway point on Broad Street. On Broad Street, we just put in a request for a permit. So again, what I'm telling you, some of this may not be set in stone. It may just be plans and things we are working to do at this point. With the medic stations, they will be our water drop-off points. We're encouraging all participants of these events to donate cases of water. So if we figure everybody can bring water to the stations, we'll be able to supply everybody. A big issue is it's July. It's the middle of the summer. Heat exhaustion, heat stroke is going to be the number one concern with the medic stations. So if everybody can come together as a community and donate water, that's beautiful. Not only that, if there's any water left over, we do have trucks that are already scheduled. We're planning on doing a water drop-off at Flint, Michigan. So any water that's left over, we will be taking that out to Flint.
Okay. Do you use bicycles to go down Broad Street and be part of the march if you're careful?
I don't think they would.
I don't see any reason again, it depends on what restrictions the city puts on us. We're looking to have fire trucks, convoys of Black Men for Bernie had their, 18 vans and an RV. We have floats. We have, we're looking to put a lot into this march. But again, it depends on the restrictions of the city and what they put on us. As far as the medic units, there are going to be mobile medics, but they will be on foot.
Collecting donations from the community for the medics?
Tell you what, Meg, why don't you come up here and...
So we were asking people to donate, if you have tents, like canopy tents, tables, coolers, anything that you can bring that might be of assistance to the medic, even if it's like just first aid kits you have lying around, anything, you know, we will be collecting supplies for them.
How soon will you be collecting them, and where can we drop them off?
Billy? Drop off point?
You want to take this one?
For what?
For the medics. When, where can they send the medic supplies? Should they get in contact with Dave for this one?
Okay, yeah, so they can get in contact with Dave. If you live in the area, if you're able to just bring it to the rally, that's perfectly fine. If you don't, or if you have people that don't live in this area, you can have them send it to either Ridley Park or one of the UPS offices in Philadelphia. We can pick it up and store it for you until the actual time of the rally starts. We'll be able to bring it back out. So there's plenty of people you can contact.
Yes.
Would you mind introducing yourself
Brian.
and letting us know where you fit into
And
this?
how we get in touch with you?
So you can touch with me on Facebook. I'll give out a card after this, so I'll give you my phone number and all that. I'll be able to give out so you guys can get in contact. The best way is to actually contact Dave on Facebook. I'll put his information also on that card, so you're able to get in touch with him as
And
well.
who's Dave?
He's in charge of the medics. He's the one organizing that.
Chapin?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, if you're out of the area, you can ship it to one of the UPS offices, and one of us in the area can pick it up from there. If not, you can just bring it either a day before the rally, or you can get in contact with one of us. We'll be able to pick it up on one of the trucks we have to be able to store it.
Broad Street office. I'm going to talk to you about that in a minute. There's a reason.
You're ruining my profile.
Oh, wow.
It's very important.
Yeah.
For the people that live in here,
You guys bike Ron Gerard by any? Yeah, that's what I thought.
like more of an
I bike by
organized
there
something
all the
before,
time.
'cause the day,
Yes.
like the moment before, it's going to be pretty chaotic and there's going to be a lot happening. So the idea of dropping off little by little the day before kind of sounds.
Now, okay, let me take this
There
one.
you
If now the only problem I have is with boxes. If they're being sent, we must verify, open the boxes up, and see what's in there. You know, we're very secure on what happens. We're you know, infiltrators sending something that shouldn't belong. So if it's out of the city, we prefer to go through the UPS. Now, if you're in the city and it's actually we can see what's in there and it's visible, we do have an office that's being opened up. We're doing a grand opening on June 6th. That's located at 905 North Broad Street. That is the Black Men for Bernie's headquarters in Philadelphia. That is their office.
That's all I got.
That's awesome, guys.
Guys, one thing I want to add real quick to this, the medics. This is the people's revolution. We don't have large campaign money. We're outside of the Bernie Sanders. This is we the people. It's people struggling in the streets. It's we that are coming together. Finances aren't there. So if you're able to donate in any way towards any cause, we're not even asking for money. It's not the money we're in this for. We'd rather you guys donate water, medical supplies. We're just looking to host a rally. Anything, you know, folks can do to help out this rally. Again, it's we the people.
What's the street number for Black Man on Broad Street?
It's 905 North Broad Street.
Does a Black Men for Bernie or any organization present to have a 501c3 where we can get donations from some of the merchants?
Yeah, Black Man for Bernie does. I just need to get in contact to get that
great.
information.
Great. Okay. So because that's often the case is that merchants are
Right.
you know, that's a tax
Absolutely.
deduction for them, and they'd be more than happy to help. A good cause.
There's going to be an actual website, the Bernie's.com, or whatever.com. Can we have some sort of GoFundMe via that website? Like something easy
That makes sense,
like
yeah.
anyone that goes into that website, if they want, can donate.
No.
So we can cover the things that we're not getting.
Every group has a GoFundMe. You know, you have the Occupy DNC. They're coming up from Massachusetts. They're looking for rally buses. So again, this is a real grassroots. You know, we the people. You have Philly Awakening. They're doing a caravan of buses that are coming out from Washington, Oregon, and California. So they're coming out with a fleet of buses. They have their own GoFundMe. You have the actual March on DNC GoFundMe. That's the sponsor of the actual event, staging, PA systems, maybe a projection screen. So there are multiple GoFundMes for each organization. And again, once that hub, that webpage is finished, the hub, all that information will be listed on that.
Where are all these people going to stay? Are they going to camp out in the park somewhere? Because the hotel space is going to be like sucked up at this point.
Bernie BNG, the students' houses.
Excuse
And-
me?
They're hoping for more people that are supporting Bernie to open up their houses. There's a Bernie BNB.
There's a lot of people.
Renting spaces and parking garages.
All you have to do is reach out.
All right, with housing, we have officially taken up all the hotels, motels in Philadelphia. We moved out west of Philly. They are gone. We moved out to South Jersey. They are gone. Campgrounds in Upper PA. They are gone. Housing is becoming a real issue. We've recently reached out to the city and requested tent camping at FDR Park. After consideration, they're suggesting another park outside of FDR because when people pitch tents, it's like they're marking their territory. Yeah. So this way you're not trampling over tents. The area we are currently looking at for tent camping is located in behind the Art Museum. So we are looking at housing, working that out right now with the city.
There's two places I can think of off the top if you want to do camping. Valley Forge National Park.
Well,
no, yeah.
No, we
gotta be inside.
We have backup plans and buses to take them there, but the goal is to have people stationed in Philly. This is where everybody's going to be. You know, really, the city has opened their arms to all these participants and supporters. The city does have an obligation to cater to these participants. The economy of Philadelphia is going to get a major boost. With that being said, the city does have some obligations we feel they need to meet. Otherwise, does the city want folks sleeping out on the streets? They don't want that. Let's cater to you know what they've opened their arms to. They're working with us, so we don't see any bad happening. You know, we see it going on.
There's other places like you've just eliminated Valley Forge Park.
Yeah. Well, what about Marconi right up the street?
Yeah, there's Marconi Park.
Yeah, Marconi Park.
Park.
Right. There's a number of things. Again, this is going to be talked at one of the next meetings with the city.
We still have more meetings that we have to go and sit down and talk to these folks. So it's ongoing.
Like is Temple University or the universities in West Philly, they'd be able to open up their...
That's a good idea, because the summer...
No worries.
Yeah. We're looking at dorms. We're looking at, yes.
Temple University.
You've got 100 universities from Hannaford to Widener to Swarthmore, up to Arcadia, all over this place.
You got it. So we do have other options, but again, our number one direction right now is getting them in the parks in the cities, because even if we open up the dorms, reaching out to everybody is going to be impossible. So you're going to have half the crowd that just don't know how to get that information. So if we can open up a park when they're here, it's just go to this location, you're okay. So it's a lot more convenient as far as housing everybody. The amount of people that we have coming to this event to be able to individually book housing is just almost impossible to do. But we do have options such as the dorms. We have farms out in Jersey. I believe state game lands you can even actually occupy with tents. So that there are other options and routes, but our first focus, if we don't have FDR for tent camping, it's got to be something local. A lot of folks are commuting public transportation, caravan through buses. They don't have wheels to get around. So we need them on locate. You know, we rather have them in a park with tents than out on the streets. Steve?
Just want to add something about the website and the GoFundMe, and we actually have PayPal now as well. Just easier for people to do with PayPal.
We being the name of, what's your name?
Steve.
So
Steve.
I mean, no, where does the money go? To your name?
Yeah, it goes to my name.
Say it again, please.
Steve Lane.
How do you spell Lane?
L-A-Y-N-E. There's no Y in the middle.
L-A-Y-N-E. And so all the money we give to you now goes to?
Correct.
To where? To the fund?
To the event.
To the event.
To the GoFundMe, yes.
Okay.
And then
Great.
PayPal itself as well, same thing. It's just all going to be followed with that.
Steve Lane. L-A-Y-N-E.
We've also
We've also talked about organizations to donate leftover money to anything, you know, if we fundraise and we end up not needing funds because our crowdsourcing comes together and we don't need money, we have plans to donate that money to charity organizations. So really can tell you more about that.
Too. We're trying to get a widget on there, so like you said, you know, people have a spot to go and donate there on the actual website. So whether it's PayPal or GoFundMe or even both, we are trying to put that in there somewhere. So I add my 2 cents.
Something just popped in my mind. Is there any way that we can get, you know, those misting showers that are like Disney?
We'll get to the cooling stations in a minute.
Okay.
We're well organized. I got you. Okay, we hit the medics, the water drop off, Flint, cooling stations.
I have a question about what this young man said about. I heard you say a moment ago that one could ship supplies to local FedEx offices or whatever. what address would they use to ship those to, and how would they address it to hold
Are they
it at
able to
that
ship it
station?
directly to your office?
Yeah, I'm not seeing that being a problem. We can send the stuff right there. We just need folks have their address.
Can you give us the address again, or do you have?
What's the address again? I forget. 905 North Broad Street.
Okay.
Correct.
And zip
You're
code
saying
is,
you're Greg?
We'll get it.
I'm Gary.
Gary, what's your last name?
Frazier.
Gary Frazier.
The other day.
Thank you.
How polluted is that?
I mean, you can bring your bathing suit. I'll join you, but we may wind up green, brother. I'm down. I wouldn't trust the water here.
Yeah.
There's a better body of water over there, no?
We're under consideration of giving the water to neither Philadelphia or Flint. We think Flint may need it a little more.
So cooling stations and restrooms?
Cooling stations. Okay, the city will be setting up their own cooling stations, but I'm hoping to work directly with Dick here. He's a retired fire marshal, correct? He belongs to a club of antique fire trucks. Do you want to explain? You probably do better than I can.
All right, I'm on. Give it to us.
I'm 65, so it's not easy to get up from a kneel. Some of you might know that. My name is Dickie Werfel, and it's an absolute pleasure to have you all here today. We have known each other only through short conversations, but I was involved in this very deeply in the 6 years 1969 through 1975 when we ended the war in Vietnam. And under the circumstances since then, I've been a professional firefighter 41 years, and I continue to work for an organization known as the International Association of Firefighters, and we have connections all over the world. And this, I also have a dear friend who is, his profession is he organizes 26-mile marathons. And he has a co-worker that lives right here in Philadelphia who has offered to assist the management group of this, because that's really the same kind of thing that they do, except that some of them running and some are trotting and some are walking. But it has the same logistics associated with it. In addition to that, I have connections with fire officials, and many cities have very simple items that they screw onto the 2.5-inch ports of a fire hydrant. Everybody knows there's a big one on one side and two small ones. The small ones are 2.5s. They screw onto the side of the fire hydrants, and they have sprayers on them. So if we can get the cooperation of the fire commissioner in this city is brand new. He just started last week.
Damn.
He only had his first meeting with the union president like 2 days ago. So having a sense of whether we know who this guy is or how cooperative he's going to be is yet unknown. But there are all kinds of unknowns. I'm a recovering alcoholic, and we live one day at a time. Sometimes we live 1 hour at a time. That's a very good axiom for us living this life. But we obviously have I love to use the word we, because Bernie, if we were a cartoonist, it would be the word we with legs and white hair. And so we are part of this we. And as time goes by, frankly, I'm wondering what all of you are doing here. Are people here ready to say, I'm going to sign on as a sentry and I'm going to be trained in a nonviolence course? There's a lot of action that has to come after this kind of conversation. So about cooling, about that kind of thing, about taking care of the marchers, I hope to be able to be of value to the we that is Billy, and I call him Billy and Company, just to be of assistance to the marchers.
What's your name again?
The Bernie guy.
My name is Dickie Werfel, but because I come from Maine, they call me Waffle because there's no R in the alphabet. Any questions?
I think
Thank you.
My pleasure.
For the burn.
To piggyback,
My ass is on fire. That's why.
To piggyback what you had said, we actually talked with the city about even using the fire trucks if they're not willing to play. Actually placing the fire trucks at FDR Park in the midway section, and if you have access to them, to use them as cooling
That's
stations
my
as well.
plan as soon as the commissioner gets in his seat.
That's the commissioner. I mean, if we have other ways to go around that,
yeah,
that's something we're already starting the groundwork for that, to get it approved, the permits, have that added into our permits. So even if we don't use them, regardless. Plus, the city has said they're going to have their own water, their own cooling stations. So the city, I mean, the conversation was they don't want to double efforts, but with cooling stations, you can't have too many. It's going to be mid-July, and heat exhaustion and heat stroke's a big concern. So the more the merrier with the cooling stations, especially with this a mass this large.
I'm walking 3.5 miles.
Yes, and that's why the midway point to have a cooling station, the medic tent, and the water drop off midway through it is very vital as well. It's very important. Okay. Now, I think I touched the subject earlier about having a Festivus type, atmosphere. There will be events all day long, regardless if you guys don't want to be at the marches or the rallies. If you guys come down to FDR Park, there will be things scheduled all day long, different activities. More and more pop up each day, and we're supporting and encouraging everybody. So if you guys want to, anybody individually wants to take up their own task, and don't use this literally, I'm just giving an example, but maybe a water slide or something along those lines. Water may be an issue, something within limits, but something more of the Festivus type activities. Water balloons, something like that. But whatever you guys want to do, we encourage it. Make sure you get back to one of the head organizers. We'll promote it and help you out and make sure we can have that idea, start rolling and actually catch on. We will have, there will be body painting, things like that going on. So it is going to be a 60s type atmosphere that we're looking to promote.
May I say something else? In any kind of an organization of what we're doing here, communication is at the top level of success. I'm trained in crisis response, and if you're going to be doing something, once this website is set up, I'm going to assume, we all know how to spell assume, right? ASS out of you and me. So let's not assume anything, except for the fact that communication is paramount. And so if you're going to do something to wildcat it, it doesn't make sense because it's going to end up being a double effort. But if you have something that's in your passion, something you want to take care of, something you're willing to pick up the ball and run with, as long as the leadership knows what you're doing and you're getting an okay from the leadership, then it's going to work.
So by all means, if your passion is yoga, you want to teach yoga classes, contact me. We'll make sure it happens. If you guys want to, if you're an artist and you want to teach art classes, contact me, and we'll make this happen. It's that Festivus type atmosphere we want to promote. It's peace, love, that's what we're here for. So there's no better place to show your Bernie love than in the city of brotherly love. So whatever, your creative heart imagines, let us know. We'll make that idea come to life.
Can I suggest something? We do like a group meditation. We have somebody set that up, meditating.
If you'd like to lead that charge, I'll make it happen.
Actually, I have a friend who's experienced in this. Ask her, she might be interested in organizing that. She's got a lot of connections to that.
I think at the DNC, meditation may be needed. So.
Well, I was thinking of having a large circle around. It could be in the Wells Fargo Convention Center, yeah.
Correct.
And so I was thinking of having a line along Pattison and around, and people holding hands, like a big, huge circle, maybe of 2,000 people. And we're holding space at some point, maybe on the last day, and having a quiet and sending blessings and this sort of thing.
More of like a peaceful, nonviolent direct action. There are groups planning on types of direct action now. So if you're looking to get plugged in, I'll plug you into where you can do it.
The candlelight vigil is another one people are talking about.
Correct. And then there's I think it's a Let Freedom Ring, where there's a bunch of bells coming.
Yeah. And also put some political theater people. Did you say that's a stage? That converts to a stage? But we don't know which part of the...
We want this area. Now, if that's one of our zones, again, the meeting with City Hall is going to, this is what we know now.
There'll be a stage.
Correct. If we don't get these stages, we will set up a stage.
Hi, I'm here with a group who we're interested in doing cleanup, garbage cleanup.
Yay!
Garbage crew.
Amen. Hey, women.
Civic-minded Bernies. So we're interested in a place for some roll-off dumpster or two. We're started ordering garbage bags. We're starting to get together pickers, the rabbit thingies.
Do you guys have a?
But we need a place for the dumpsters.
I'll tell you what, before we go, make sure you get my phone number.
Mhm.
I'll make sure this goes through the city. This should be
Yeah.
something the city provides.
Yeah.
Because if
Definitely.
we had a place to dump, what we plan on doing is bringing some trucks and just patrolling, being as visible as possible in our cleanup.
I don't know how well the trucks are going to work because the amount of people that are coming, it may be a gridlock. So mobile units.
Thinking probably stacking, and then once things clear out in the evening, go back around and pick up.
There you go. We can have
We've done this
pickup
before.
location. Yeah, it's perfect. Make sure let's exchange numbers before the end of the day, and I'll
Okay.
make sure this.
And the other thing, we have another group of our people who would like to do a food bank collection. So if you run across a space for that, I'll talk to you about that.
Now,
Just-
there's
We
a
could
current.
do the church on Broad Street that runs this. What's the name of the church? It's
Broad
right
Street
at Broad and
Ministries?
South.
There's that, but there's currently a food and water organization with the city. They're the only other ones that was issued a permit through a special event. So there is currently a food and water. With that one, I'd like to link you up with them because there is a project going on, and if I could have you two tap together, two heads are better than
Phil
one.
Abundance.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get your number
Their
before I leave.
warehouse is right around the corner.
Okay,
Can
that
I
would
ask
be
what
good. We're
group
just-
you're with, please?
Do what?
Can you tell us again who you're with? Your group?
Civic-minded Bernies. We're on Facebook that way.
Thank you.
Sometimes I do outreach and I come across people who are willing to help in certain ways. Is there a way that I can send people?
You could absolutely
to your
just go onto the Facebook page. We have a sign-up we're working on. So we have people in charge of different areas, and then we have people who are volunteering. So we have forms.
What are you doing, you silly little
Thank you.
girl?
Thank you for coming.
Is this going to be in the Bernie's website as well? Like, are all of this little music
We need to link up and make this happen. Yeah, but yeah, we'll make sure they get on the hub and it gets promoted the right way. Yeah, absolutely.
And with the garbage removal, we want to split for recycling.
Okay.
We want to make sure that it's recyclable.
We'll talk afterwards.
Okay.
And then we'll make this happen. The next is we are doing a grand opening at an office on it's 905 North Broad Street. The opening date will be June 6th. We're looking to open it up 2 days before the primaries end in New Jersey. Right now you have all the volunteers that have moved on to Jersey to help out those offices. As soon as those offices close for the primaries, those volunteers basically are all going to focus on the DNC. So the office will be open 2 days before. We're going to be prepped and ready for all those volunteers, and well, we need to be ready. Well, what happened in Jersey? No. This is just the heads that are specifically involved with the DNC. There's too much going on with the DNC to focus on other things. We're just getting things ready for them to come to us. If we're not ready, we have hundreds of people show up. It's kind of useless. So we're going to make sure we're ready and we can get to work right away. And then also with the volunteers, plans would be to hit the university, colleges. If anybody wants to get involved in other ways, we are doing training classes for nonviolent civil resistance. They start 9 a.m. every day here at FDR Park, July 23rd through 28th. So if anybody wants to attend those classes, you just feel free to pop up, spread the word. Nonviolent civil resistance classes will take place July 23rd through 28th at 9 a.m. here in FDR Park. We will set up martial training programs here at FDR Park as well. We're working on that project now, so as soon as that's up and going, we will release the time and dates, but those will take place at this park as well. Roughly 2 hours. Depends on the class itself, the questions that are asked. you know, if the folks have a lot of questions, it may go on, but I'm going to say a good time frame is we're looking to have the classes wrap up and everybody to be able to make it up to City Hall for the rallies.
Who's offering that expertise?
As far as the classes?
Who's teaching?
Now that's being headed by an individual named Pete Perry. Right now we are training instructors.
Right.
So we are giving classes currently to train folks for the much larger crowds at the DNC. So right now we are training instructors to be instructors.
So I know the Friends are doing something on the 23rd, especially specifically for this as well. The
Yep.
Friends, the Quaker Society.
I'd like to make contact with them through a group effort if we can.
Absolutely.
I mean, either way, even if there's 2 events going on as far as that goes.
Maybe you were already hooked up with them, so let's,
Yeah, either with that there can't be enough. So even if there is 2 different, that's better.
That's their expertise.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Good stuff.
Okay, we had housing. All right, another thing that I really want to go over, I can't exaggerate this enough. Mainstream media, I don't mean to look at you back there, but I am, has painted an image on Bernie supporters as being violent. That's not the case. You know, they talk about a chair being thrown in Nevada. That didn't happen. A chair was put down and a lot of hugs were given. We've been hit as head organizers a lot lately by mainstream media. Every time we promote the peace, we turn around everything. They try to catch us up on the words, and we say the right things, but still when the articles come out and, you know, you watch the news, the first image you see is Nevada, violence, and all this other stuff. So to counter that, you know, the problem is there may be a Bernie supporter that's not linked in and knows how to contact us directly and sees that image and go, you know, I'm frustrated. You know, I may want to join in and they don't know that this isn't what it's about, but essentially it's brainwashed. The mainstream media is brainwashing Bernie supporters to push them towards a negative light. That's not the case. So what we did to counter what mainstream media is doing is we put together a petition. This petition is the promise of a political revolution. Regardless of what Bernie does, we are here to sway the delegates. We are here to stand with Bernie. Don't get that wrong, but while we are here in masses, we will have the political revolution on our own. We are the people taken to the streets united. How we are going to do that is with this petition. This petition is a list of demands to counter the voter suppression and election fraud that's happened across the entire United States. Now, if they don't meet our list of demands, which is on this petition, we are threatening a massive deregistration. Now, either A or B happens. They meet our demands, political revolution. We counter the voter suppression and election fraud, the things that have crippled Bernie throughout this whole race. Don't get it wrong, Bernie and Hillary are neck to neck right now. You minus the corruption, Bernie is winning. So this isn't only about now. This is also about future and years to come, our children and our children's children, to counter the voter suppression and election fraud that has happened, to make sure another good man like Bernie comes along, this does not happen again. With that being said, they neither meet our list of demands, we have a political revolution. If they don't, we do a massive deregistration. Now, with a massive deregistration, they have proven our vote doesn't count. They figured out how to manipulate, twist our vote. What does count is our registration form. The party only has power in the amount of members that they hold. So if we do a massive deregistration, we essentially take the power from them and give it back to the people. Now, where you go is at your discretion. A lot of us are encouraging, the Green Party with Jill Stein. Some folks want to go with no party preference because the state that they come from, it allows them voting freedoms. So it is state by state. But just to say this, Jill Stein's platform is almost identical to Bernie's. So you have another route to have Bernie's policies, being fought for. Not only that, Jill Stein has extended a hand out to Bernie and offered Bernie a spot with her. So with that being said, there's more ways than just the Democratic Party having Bernie elected and put into power. Yeah. And that may be the Green Party. Now keep in mind, it's exactly like Bernie says. When the big banks are too big to fail, break them up. The same holds weight with our political parties. Right. When they're too big to fail, break them up.
That's right. Pretty simple.
And that has to be our message.
So again, with this petition, we are inviting people to come to Philadelphia. This is a time of celebration. We promise a political revolution regardless of what happens. Worst case scenario, Bernie loses. He endorses Hillary. That doesn't matter. We the people will take to the streets, and we will create the political revolution.
That's right.
Remember his hashtag. Not me, us. That's what it's about, us.
Amen, women.
Just because our political system is so damn complicated, and each state has a different universe into it, there are states out there that still have elections, not the November ones, but in between. And some of those states are closed primaries. So also, like if you're talking to people that are coming from other states and you're talking about this, make sure that they know if they have, like New York has elections at some point in August or September, like September, exactly. So like it's a state by state, and it's important to make sure that those people, if they have some other primary coming, that they can vote, just because it's important to vote.
You got it. Basically,
all of the local decisions as well.
there's a lot of state and locals that are good Bernie seeds. We don't want them overlooked because of this massive deregistration. There's a lot of people that are fighting on the streets for good things. So we don't want this to affect them. With that being said, when you deregister is at your discretion. So if you want to deregister right away, the Bernie or Bust movement is doing it on, they're kicking it off June 19th. But if you want to wait, the deadline would be the general in November. But if you want to wait to get those good seeds in, we encourage that. We need people fighting for us regardless. If it's Republican, Democrat, Green, we need them everywhere. So don't let those good seeds be overlooked. But just, know that the deadline is the general in November. And this is the way that, we take the power back from the Democratic Party. Outside of that, I think everything, I really that needed to be said was said. If there's any questions at all, please feel free.
I just wanted to add to that is that a comment, somebody said that in the topic of this violence in Nevada, it wasn't violent, it was messy. And I don't know who said that, but it really clears it up for me. There was no violence, it was just very messy.
I wouldn't say messy. I would say passionate. There is nothing wrong with
messy
passion.
because the person picked up the chair and then put it down. The chair wasn't supposed to be up in the air.
No.
I mean, like, in other words, it was a little, I think it was messy and passionate, but it
messy
wasn't violent.
It was a very long day with lots of hours of people being there. Lots of people.
Righteous
indignation.
Indignation.
It was messy.
What did Bernie Sanders say?
Democratic.
But what did Bernie say?
No, it was a
That's what Bernie said. No, that it was messy. I don't know. Somebody said.
Yeah, Bernie said, sometimes democracy is messy.
It's exactly what he said.
Democracy is messy, and I think that's the resounding voice of why we're bringing this whole thing together. We can't allow them to separate us, and we have to stand firm on the issues that we are talking about today. That's the only way we're going to impact change. And I think all of us coming together, having that resounding voice, bringing that peace mechanism in there, being leaders. If you see somebody that's in the march getting out of line, put yourself in a position to kind of calm them down. Calm them down and let them know that, we are structured, we are disciplined, we are knowledgeable, and we intend to get this done the right way. And I think if we send that message and we act out that message, I don't see us losing. I don't see us losing.
Yeah.
The marches for the marches are going to be trained in de-escalating and working if something starts happening, we're going to train.
Right.
Also, did you hear about the postcard? Somebody wants to start postcards to the policemen in Philly.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about that? Do you know
Well,
about
there's
that?
a website, so I've been doing it, and just go on the Facebook, and I forget the name of the page, but I think you said it, Postcards for Philly or something.
Postcard Blitz.
Yeah, Postcard Blitz
Another
for Philly.
postcard blitz, because we did one. Some of you probably did it too. The Bernie or Bust.
Yeah.
I'll ask you
So it's the same thing, except sending postcards to thank the Philly police for
What is the message?
whatever you want to write.
It's something like we're coming to visit you, and
yes, and we're looking forward to visiting Philly.
And thank you for something
for
very civil.
Thank you for your support.
May I say something about that, please? Because I work for all the firemen and all the cops in the state of Maine and have for many years. I'm just going to tell you this. 90% of cops, maybe more, and 90% of firemen, maybe more, are Republicans. Staunch, macho Republicans. So you started out with this. Thank you for your service. That's the first thing you say. And the second thing you say is, we really appreciate the way you take care of the people in Philadelphia, if you're going to send them anywhere else or whatever city or whatever town. So you start out like, this is, I wear a belt still from the 60s. It says, it has stamped in peace on one side and revolution on the other side. They don't look like they belong together, okay? But there's an old saying my grandmother used to say to me, you get a hell of a lot more with sugar than you get with vinegar. And I've been in this union business for 47 years. And when I was young, I was always fighting everybody. Now, I'm just kissing ass. So I start out with kissing ass, and then you let the people know what you need, and you do it politely and respectfully, and we can expect more from that than any other way of operating.
Here's to the peaceful revolution.
Right. We treat this thing like Woodstock, baby. We're going to deliver.
Mahatma Gandhi from India. If anybody wants to help others to understand the philosophy of what we're doing, read about Mahatma Gandhi. Read about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Read about the moments in time during apartheid when wise people realized that the only way to make this happen is with love, and we are in service. Our job, we're trying to save the freaking world. For our children, for our grandchildren, and for on and so forth. That is our core. What it's about. And don't get into arguments with these Republican crazy Trump maniacs. Just say, thank you very much, I appreciate and turn around and walk away.
Listen, if you let that angry, mad Trump person get you angry and mad, you just let him win. Walk away from
That's right.
Let him live his life in anger. Don't let him affect you.
And don't walk away like this. Walk away like, thank you very much. It was nice to meet you.
Give them two.
Amen. Hey, women.
Yeah, give them the peace sign.
One other thing I want to add to this are nonviolent civil resistance classes. We do have a retired police captain, Ray Lewis, that is helping out. I am currently reaching out to other high-ranking officers to assist with that. So these classes will be taught by neither current or ex-Philadelphia police officers. Having that communication is very, very important when it comes to peaceful revolutions. Outside of that, is there any other questions?
I'd just like to make a comment in regards to...
Louder, please.
I'd just like to make a comment in regards to the talk about nonviolence. I think part of it will be keeping people busy in another manner. And I know you guys have a lot of things going on, like the body paint and all of these other ideas. I think for everybody individually, you should start thinking about other ways to get people involved so that you're not thinking, that way they're busy doing whatever they're doing rather than thinking violent thoughts.
Festivity.
Festivity. I mean,
set it up properly.
bring the banjos.
Bring
Bring them.
Bring
the
the
banjos.
banjos.
Yep.
What's
Bring
the
them.
limitation on music?
Yeah.
What was said was, we're allowed to have political artists. So,
Amplified.
we will have PA systems and for the staging area, and we will have So right now we're actually reaching out to major bands. We have folks talking about Red Hot Chili Peppers and connections to them, and so we are looking at really big name bands. It's a matter of we're reaching out. We just need that hug to come in at this point and make that connection.
Since this is a lot about what we're doing is to persuade superdelegates that Bernie is the best candidate to beat Trump, I want to recommend a website to everybody called lobbydelegates.com.
Yes.
Saw that.
Volunteers have put together a wonderful app so that everybody can send a note to the superdelegates that have pledged to Clinton in your state, and you can add personal comments.
Can you repeat
It's a
that
great
site again?
It's lobbydelegates.com.
All right, anybody?
I'd like to just say one more thing in response to this fellow here. All it takes is one media person to wipe the word N-O-N- out of the word nonviolence. Okay, so This is something I learned as a younger man. We do not want to use the phrase nonviolence because it's so easily twisted. We want to use the word peace. We want to use the word love. I guess you can probably tell I'm an old hippie, and it works. I mean, so really, keep that phrase out of start out by taking that out of your vocabulary.
So what is the? Should we like
peace,
peaceful?
Peace and love, but using the phrase nonviolence can be twisted like this.
Like
take the
peaceful protest or something.
Peaceful demonstration.
Go home and read some Gandhi. Even if it's only Wikipedia.
And you know what? I'm also concerned. We're having this meeting here, but there's millions, there's thousands and thousands of people coming from all over the country, and are they going to,
some
have
things
the
I
same
just
mentality?
better not to be part
We
of.
can't answer that question, but there's 30 people here. We start with us.
I mean, you can make little armbands, and each person who gets an armband knows that it's a peaceful celebration. It will say peaceful celebration on it. You know, you can think about it. Don't you know? You
I mean, I'm just.
This is what we're gonna have. We're gonna have a peaceful celebration.
All right, guys.
Think Woodstock.
Guys, I'm gonna wrap up this.
Right. Let's get it out there.
Don't
I'm going to wrap up the meeting. We are doing a bi-weekly as well as weekly meetings the closer we get to the DNC. We'll release updates at those meetings.
We want to try to keep
otherwise, thank you all for coming out.
I know. Everybody.
Everybody, come on. That's what I want all the way around. Everybody.
Let's go, everybody. Come on. Make a circle.
That's right.
Hands together in the
We
air.
are about to change America, people.